Kenny here with Gardening Simplified. It's February 11th and we're going to do a propagation update, see how things are going. We've still got a pretty good amount here on our propagation station. We'll move around here. We've had to move things around, doing a little transmission rebuild on the vehicle, so had to make some room. But we've got a couple there. We've got 4 over here on this side. A few of them are leafing out, but we just want the ones that we can see roots on. We've got one less in our fig hospital here. We've had one in the middle of the week that started rooting out, so we went ahead and potted it up, took it out to the greenhouse. Now down here we still have 3 trays of elderberries that hadn't rooted out yet. And here we go with the ones that we've actually taken out. We have 5 elderberries, and this one here's a ranch. You can see the roots coming around in there, and this one's actually got a little bit of green sprouting in there. This one's starting to sprout right here on the top, and it's got good roots actually coming out the bottom. Now, these were all started about, I think it was 11th of November and the 15th of November, I think is kind of most of the dates on there. And this one's coming out too. A lot of these are the ranch. There wasn't that many of the last one. This one here's starting, got roots at the bottom and trying to come out. Very little green on the top. And then our last one here, which got good roots, it actually, and this isn't uncommon for elderberry, you can see this right here is a green shoot. What this will do is grow from here and come on out from the top. A lot of times that's the way they come out. And it should have enough energy in this cutting and good roots to go ahead and bring that out. But we're going to pot these up now. Move these to the side. It's another rainy day here. It's been rainy, so we're making good advantage of it. And right here, we've got good roots coming out. It's a little bit green, no leaves, but it's greening up. This is Italian everbearing. This was actually back in November too, middle of November. So it's been quite a while, 3 months. This one's starting to shoot its leaves up. Got roots coming out the bottom there, and got some more around here. This is a green Ithaca, and this was done in December, middle of December. This one here is shooting roots out the top. Now this little cutting, just so little, you just wonder if it was going to make it. But it's got a whole lot of roots here on the side. This is one of my compost figs. And another green Ithaca that was back in December. It's starting to pop its leaves out, and it's got some roots coming out right there, so it's going to do good. This one here's got root coming over the top. You can see a tint of green there, but not much, but the roots are going crazy. And this is a yellow long neck. That's one of the varieties that I wanted to add a bunch to my collection. And you can see these roots coming out here and the greening up top. And this is another green Ithaca back in December. This one here, you can see it's done put roots all up at the top. This is another yellow long neck. Now I do see a fungal gnat running around, and that's one reason we want to get them out of these pots into other ones. Here's another green Ithaca. This got good root growth there. And last but not least, another yellow long neck. It's got good roots on it and starting to pop its leaves out. So these ones, I'm going to get here and pot these up, and we'll talk just a little bit about this process again on this updates for those that are new, just catching this video. Now this process of potting up, I've showed this before. it's a simple process when you're growing in cups like this. I just put a little compost in the bottom, or my mix, which is compost, perlite, and peat moss in equal parts for this. You can use general potting mix. I always try to do mine organic. So, but anyway, what we're going to do, it's simple. When we get ready to transfer these, we're just going to push this out of here, grab our tag, and they kind of support the bottom, and I just drop it off in there. And people talk about, well, wait till it gets real good roots before they pot it up or something like that. And if that's what you feel like you got to do it. But I always find it's better before it gets too many roots. Some of these that we saw that were growing roots here, not particularly this one, but the ones that grow the fiber roots out the side once they take off, like this particular one here. A lot of times, and I'll go ahead and water this to moisten the edge a little bit, because it tends to want, these roots are trying to grab onto this edge. They're looking for nutrients and stuff, and they stick to it. And a lot of times you take it out of the cup, you lose some roots. So I tend to want to pot them up as soon as I start seeing roots out. I don't care if it's just a little bit. If there's roots, I know it's growing. And we've got this one taken care of. We'll just put the tag back in it, set aside. Make sure you keep them labeled, because you don't want to mess up and not know what variety you have. But this process, when we originally started these, we just, I think I've seen a piece of plastic come in there. We don't want that. But anyway, the process was, on most of them except the earliest ones, was we took the cuttings, we sealed the ends, and you can go back in the videos. The playlist will be at the end of this video, so you can click on the playlist and you can go back and see when we started them. There's one actually showing how we treated them. We used beeswax to treat the ends. Now you could use paraffin, but I don't want paraffin. Beeswax is more natural, and it seems to do good. The only thing I might mention, when I did use beeswax on some of it, I let it cool down too much, and it put a thick coating, and it didn't actually grab the top like this does. This is just a thin layer, and that's all it takes to seal this in to keep anything out of it. It works real well for long term. Now, some of these were actually cut and put in the refrigerator, and I took them out later. Some were cut and just put in here, but I soaked them all in a mixture where I used a good amount of cinnamon in there. And cinnamon is a fungicide, so I was trying to cut down on rot, because I had a lot of issues with rot last year. I've had a little bit this year, but I don't know if it was from the ones that didn't get treated, or maybe I didn't get it heavy enough treatment. But anyway, that was the only thing that was done. We didn't use any root stimulator, hormone. We didn't scarify the ends, cut the ends as far as scrape the sides or anything like that. We just planted them. And as you can see, and even the ones I stored now, I did dip them in my, let them soak in my cinnamon water, and then I let them dry, and then I coated the ends on them. But that's all we did with them. And they really done good this year. Last year we had a really big failure. Now we are getting a few fungal gnats, but it's not really that bad, so they're doing pretty good. But anyway, once we planted these, and we're using basically the same mix to pot them up as we planted them, and we are putting about 3/4 of a cup of this is pelleted chicken litter. It actually crumbles. There are a few pellets in there, but this is what we're using for our fertilizer. It's just a 3-3-3. we'll mix it in there and then pot them up. And later on, when they start really leafing good, we'll go back and give them another feeding of fertilizer. But that's it. But I recommend this method. I've used a bunch of others. There's a really older video where I had taken and run a test to see which way works good best for putting roots on. I used the shaving the edge method. I just cut the ends on some of them, and I scarred the edge or run a knife down the edge to make a cut in it. And as far as the results, and you can go back and see it, there was no big difference in the results on it. So, and I used to use rooting hormone, but in the past, when I first started and I'd do green cuttings, I would take and just put the cuttings in some potting mix and go on my way. So I realized that a lot of the stuff that you're told doesn't really make a difference. Sometimes it might make them come out quicker. I can't say for sure because different conditions, different places. But these have just been out in the workshop. Now these have had heat under them for a period of time. They don't have heat under them no more. It's the temperatures are staying warm enough out there in the unheated shop that if it does drop down in the 40s, it's not long, and then it's back up and stays somewhere in the 60s, maybe even 70s. So as far as temperature wise, when they get ready to root, they're going to root. And anyway, that's the way we did this. We decided to go with we got us some cellophane bags this year because we decided that, or I decided that I had such a bad problem with fungal gnats that might deter them in it, and it's really done good because they have to find that little bit of opening where they're tied around the stem, so it does keep them out. There's been a few that's got infested with them, and I don't know. Maybe I lost one or two from that, but it wasn't like last year. And if you want to see how bad it was last year, you can just go back and watch those videos too. They're in that playlist. But that's kind of where we went. We've got a bunch out in the greenhouse. We're going to go out and talk about those and see what we got and see how they're doing. Okay, we're out here in the greenhouse. We've got our new 9 right there, and it brings our total to 175. Now that's a lot of figs. One thing I didn't mention earlier, and I want to mention especially when we're out here, is if you see any of your figs plants starting to produce figs. Now, if they're in a 1 gallon pot or less, I think you definitely need to pull the figs off. It'd be real hard on the root system trying to get these figs growing and rooted in. Plus, it's going to kind of put more energy to reproduction. Now, once they get into 2 gallon pots, that's fine. They're capable of producing. Now, what I do want to show is, when we had that bad 8-degree freeze and we had these covered, but these end ones, it bit the leaves back on them. Well, you can see right now, and this is one of the little Miss Figgies, it's putting it out. This other one right here, it's putting out new leaves. And this black mission here is putting it out some leaves. So they're coming back fine. That just slowed them down, but they'll come on back. But yeah, pay attention to your figs as they're growing and when they're small. Make sure, because even some of mine that are still in the cup, occasionally I'll check them, and I'll see figs start to form. There's just some figs that are like that, and you want to make sure you pop that off there. Now let's go around here and look at the other side. And here's our uh, elderberries. Some of them's doing pretty good as far as the leaf, and they're going to be slow because the weather's not real warm. It gets kind of cool at night, but some of them are really focusing on their leaves. But that gives us a total of 47 on our elderberries out here. But anyway, I hope you got some enjoyment out of this. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you want to see more content like this and you're not a subscriber, well, of course, hit that subscribe, hit the bell, select all, give her a big thumbs up, and share this video. Enjoy that gardening experience.